Hey Run Junkies, Walt Disney World Marathon Weekend went up for registration a while back and most of the races are already sold out. But now that we've registered for it, it's time to start thinking about how we're going to train for it, specifically for the Goofy Race and a Half and the Dopey Challenges. So let's talk about how to prep for your training and what some of your training plan options are. The Goofy Race and a Half Challenge is 39.9 miles of running with the half marathon and the full marathon on back-to-back days. This is still open for registration. The Dopey Challenge adds the 5K and the 10K to that mix for 4 back-to-back days of races. Most runners don't take this challenge lightly. It's a lot of running, a lot of run walking, or however you choose to tackle this challenge. The key to getting through the training is to train smart. That means we run smart, we recover smart, and we don't overtrain. First, we want to start our training healthy. We're about to put a lot of miles on our legs and our feet, regardless of what plan we choose. So we want to make sure that everything feels good. If you have any concerns, please check with your doctor before you begin your training. Once you start your training, don't overdo it. Don't fill up your calendar with a bunch of races. If you are going to add races into your training calendar, use them as tune-up races or training races. Using races as training days allows us to keep our effort in check as we gain experience running around other people. If it hurts, stop everything and figure out why. Good muscle soreness lasts about 24 to 48 hours. If it lasts longer than that and you start pushing through it, you are risking injury. If your joints hurt, that's a different problem. Go back and check in with your doctor and make sure there's no potential for serious injury if you continue to push through your training. And if you do get injured, take the time off to recover. As far as your training goes, you are better off taking that time off to recover from injury rather than push through it. That could just sideline you for longer. Recovery is crucial to our training, so check out this video right here as to why that's important. Due to the nature of the Goofy and the Dopey challenges, we will be running a lot of back-to-back days. In order to do that without getting hurt or overtraining, the best idea is to take your runs a lot slower than you're probably used to. Very slowly. Leave your ego at the door and stop looking at your watch. One thing to remember about these challenges is that so few of us actually go for time in these races. They're really just a lot of fun. And to really get through and survive these challenges, it's just a matter of spending time on your feet. It's not about how many miles you do, it's how you are running on tired legs on back-to-back days. So as an example, last year when I was training for the Dopey Challenge, I slowed my average training pace by 3 to 4 minutes per mile. It got me through 4 to 5 days of running, and it got me through the Dopey Challenge and a lot of time in the parks. My last tip on getting ready for your training is to add lots of active recovery. By this, I mean easy walks 2 to 3 times a week. If you add those walks in the fall, you are gonna start getting your legs ready to be on your feet a lot. Start time in the corrals, on your feet during the races, and park time. Now these aren't power walks. This isn't really trying to get your heart rate up. This is a nice stroll around the neighborhood with your family, but it's just time on your feet that's important. Okay, one quick thing about proof of time, which is due for Goofy and Dopey challenges on October 3rd of 2017. Here's a quick explanation of what that means, and I've left a link to Run Disney's website in the description below. These races are corralled events, meaning that the race organizers will put you in start order based on how fast they think you are going to run the race. Which corral you're placed in is based on the information you give them. You will submit a proof of time from an established race with a website link to your results. When you registered, you set up an active.com account through which you registered for your race. There is a space on that page, and you can always go back in and check that registration for where to put your proof of time. You submit that proof of time, how fast you did that particular race, what the distance was, and the link to the official results page for that race. If you do not submit proof of time, you will be placed in the last corral. You can use any proof of time from a race you've run since January 1st of 2016. The proof of time distance has to be at least a 10-miler, a half marathon, or a full marathon. If you are training for a better corral and a better proof of time, my suggestion suggestion here would be to get that proof of time race done sooner rather than later. As you get close to Walt Disney World Marathon weekend, our focus should probably start shifting from speed work into endurance and time on our feet and recovery. Okay, so that's all I want to say about the tips for getting started on your training. Now we need to figure out how we're going to train. Choosing a training plan for the Goofy or the Dopey challenges is not a decision to be taken lightly. So let me demystify some of the most popular training options for these events. First, if you've ever done a Run Disney event, you probably know who Jeff Galloway is. His plans are highly popular in the Run Disney set, and with good reason. They are free on the Run Disney training page, and the run walk method is perfect for people who want to just finish these races happy and healthy. Both the Goofy and the Dopey Challenge training plans are 29 weeks long, which has you starting in late June, like today. I will say that these plans are built for folks who want to go have fun and enjoy the race. There are many first-timers out there in the Run Disney field, and Jeff Galloway's plans are perfect if you've never run a half marathon or a full marathon before, and for some crazy or goofy or dopey reason, you decide to run both for the first time on the same weekend. Galloway's Goofy and Dopey plans are almost identical in the first 14 weeks with 3 days of running, 2 days during the week, and 1 long run on the weekend. That will incrementally increase as the weeks go by. At week 15, about mid-September, these two plans do start to diverge with a lot more mileage and back-to-back runs for the Dopey plan. Now, a couple of notes about these plans. Jeff Galloway states that these are for experienced runners. Do with that what you will. If 29 weeks seems like it's a long time, the first 6 to 10 weeks, you are building a base. You are getting your body ready to do a lot more work starting in the fall. If you have been running a couple of times a week for the last few months, you should easily slide right into this plan with no trouble whatsoever. However, if you're used to running 4 to 5 days a week, this might not feel like it's enough for you. If I personally were to use this plan, I would probably add at least 1 more day of running in that whole mix, and I would definitely make cross-training a significant part of this training. Galloway says that you can do cross-training if you like, but it's not necessary. I sort of disagree with that because I think cross-training, strength training makes you stronger as a runner, but in order to complete these plans, it's certainly not a requirement. But Galloway's plans are perfect for runners who consistently experience injury or beginning runners who really just want to get through the event and get all that bling. If you are an experienced runner and have consistently laid down 20 miles a week or more, you might consider Hal Higdon's training plans. He's very clear when he says Goofy and Dopey challenges are not for first timers. Now, whether or not you agree with that, I will say as an experienced runner, the Dopey challenge training plan from Hal Higdon is very challenging. This training plan is only 18 weeks long, and you have 26 miles in that first week, and it only goes up from there. This is not a training plan for brand new runners. Now, that being said, if I were to personally use this plan, I would take that 18 weeks and then back it up another 8 to 10 weeks and do some base building, very similar to what Jeff Galloway has in his plan. I would do it a little differently, but I also have a lot of experience building my own training plan. But I would still only recommend this training plan to experienced runners, someone who has finished at least a half marathon, because they're of the high volume mileage in this plan. Let me be clear, Higdon's plan is not for the faint of heart. It is a lot of mileage on your feet from the very beginning. It's a lot of work, and if you're not already running consistently, this plan might have you doing too much too soon, risking injury. Other plans I'd like to mention are the Train Like a Mother Club heart rate plan. These are 24 or 26 week programs, depending on whether you're doing Dopey or Goofy. 5 days a week of running, super easy runs, evening walks, and running very slowly. This is heart rate based. This means you're going to be slowing your pace quite a bit. Now, this is a paid plan, but you get coach and community support and an amazing swag bag. This is the plan I did last year, and it got me through all of the training, all of the races that they ended up having, and a ton of park time. I highly recommend this plan because, like the Galloway plan, this is a great training plan for people who are consistently injured and just want to get through a training plan without getting hurt, or a first timer who's never done the Goofy or the Dopey challenges before. The last plan I'd like to mention is the Hanson marathon method. The longest run is only 16 miles throughout the whole training plan, but you are consistently logging 50+ miles per week. This is running 6 days a week with speed work and long runs in the whole mix. Like the Higdon plan, this is aggressive running, and I would only recommend this for the seasoned veteran who is healthy and injury-free. I will leave links in the description below to all of these training plans. Please do not take this decision lightly. Do a little bit of homework and decide what is going to work for you and your lifestyle and your schedule, because this commitment is a big deal and it will help determine your success in January. You do have other options as well, and I've seen a few people out there kind of publish their own homemade training plans. Now, that's not necessarily the problem, but if they are not a certified coach, proceed with caution. One thing that I'm gonna ask you, beg you not to do, is put your training and the next 6 months of your life up to a Facebook vote. We love you, we want to support you, and we want to tell you what works for us. The problem is we don't know you, your training philosophy, your injury history, your health. We want you to be successful, but that doesn't necessarily mean that my training plan is going to work for you. Do the homework and make this commitment ultimately on your own. Now, I know this was a lengthy description about how to prepare for and train for the Goofy Race and a Half and the Dopey challenges. But are you ready to start training? Are you registered for any of these races? How are you going to train? Please leave your questions, thoughts, and comments in the box below. And as always, give me a thumbs up if you like this video. Also, please subscribe. I've got a lot more great things coming this summer from Running with Grace. Thanks so much for watching. That's it for me today. Go find your awesome. Until next time, happy running.